So, one morning in Lawrence, Kansas, the employees of a local restaurant, a place called CC's Pizza, show up for their morning shift. But today, something's off. The lights are off. The doors are locked. The place is completely empty. Now, this is weird because the owner, 52-year-old Harold Hal Sasko, is usually the first one there every morning. He opens the doors, gets everything ready, makes sure the place runs smoothly. But today, he's nowhere to be found. At first, everyone assumes maybe he overslept, or maybe he's sick or out of town. But when no one's heard from him for days, people start to worry. Eventually, the police are called in for a welfare check. They go to Hal's house, a quiet suburban home just a few minutes away from the restaurant. They knock on the door. No answer. So one of the officers walks around to the side window and peers inside. And that's when he sees it. A man's body, lying face down on the living room floor. So the man on that living room floor, that's Hal Sasko, the franchise owner everyone had been looking for. And soon, police figure out that he wasn't just dead, he'd been murdered. But the real shocker? The suspect isn't some burglar or random stranger. It's an 18-year-old girl named Sarah Gonzales-McLinn, someone Hal had practically treated like family. See, about a year before all this happened, Hal met Sarah while she was working part-time at one of his restaurants. She was young, quiet, and going through a rough time. Her parents had recently split up, and she was struggling with depression. Hal, who everyone saw as this fun, friendly, fatherly kind of guy, decided to help her out. He told her, "Hey, if you ever need a place to stay, my door's open." So when things got bad at home, Sarah took up on that offer. She moved in with him, thinking it was just a temporary thing, a safe place to reset her life. And at first, it really did feel safe. Hal treated her well, cooked for her, joked with her, even talked about paying for her college and helping her get back on her feet. But slowly, the vibe started to change.
So a few months go by, and what started out as this kind of father-daughter living arrangement starts turning into something else. Hal begins acting weird around Sarah, giving her alcohol, letting her smoke weed at home, buying her expensive gifts, even offering to pay for plastic surgery she'd mentioned wanting someday. At first, Sarah thinks he's just being generous. But then, Hal crosses a line. One night, he sits her down and tells her something that makes her skin crawl. He says he's in love with her, not as a guardian or mentor, but in a romantic way. And since she's now 18, he says it's not wrong anymore. Sarah's disgusted. She tells him no, but Hal doesn't stop. He keeps pushing, complimenting her, cornering her, trying to make her feel like she owes him something. And then, one night, when Sarah's drunk and feeling trapped, Hal threatens her. He tells her if she doesn't sleep with him, he'll kick her out, and she's got nowhere else to go. That night, she gives in. Afterward, things get darker. Hal turns her life into a transaction. Every time she tries to say no, he reminds her of everything he's done for her. The car, the surgeries, the rent, the food. He wants it all paid back. But the currency isn't money, it's her. So she stays, stuck in this nightmare, pretending to be fine while living in a house she can't escape. Months go by, and Sarah's life just keeps spiraling deeper into this twisted trap. Hal controls everything, her money, her phone, even her movements. He tracks where she goes, takes her paychecks, and keeps reminding her how much she owes him. To everyone else, Hal's this charming local businessman, but behind closed doors, he's a manipulative bully. Sarah starts losing her grip. She's exhausted, terrified, and angry all the time. She feels like she's living in a cage, one that Hal built brick by brick. At one point, Hal even talks about getting her more surgery. This time, implants she doesn't even want, and he expects her to repay him for that too. It's like he's trying to own her. And Sarah's mind starts to break under the pressure. She starts acting out, doing things that make no sense, One day she buys a rabbit from a pet store. She brings it home and then kills it with a knife. She doesn't even understand why she did it. She's numb, detached, spiraling into something dark and dangerous. And that's when the thought hits her. The only way she'll ever be free is if Hal isn't around anymore. So she starts to plan. It's January 2014. By now, Sarah's been living with Hal for almost a year, 10 long, miserable months. On the outside, everything looks normal. But inside, she's already decided what she's going to do. One night, Hal's relaxing in the living room with a beer in his hand, totally unaware that it's the last drink he'll ever have. While he's distracted, Sarah quietly crushes up a handful of sleeping pills and stirs them into his drink. Hal gulps it down without a second thought. Within an hour, he's out cold. Sarah stands there for a while, just staring at him, the man who's made her life a nightmare, completely unconscious on the couch. Her hands are shaking, but her mind is made up. She grabs a pair of zip ties, binds his wrists and ankles together. Then she goes to the kitchen and comes back with a large hunting knife. It's silent in the room. No TV, no noise, just her heartbeat pounding in her ears. And then she does it. She kills him, right there, in his own home. When it's over, she doesn't cry, she doesn't scream. Instead, she takes the knife, dips it in his blood, and writes one word on the wall: freedom. For the first time in her life, Sarah says she felt free. Afterward, Sarah doesn't stick around long. She grabs Hal's car keys, his credit cards, and whatever cash she can find. Then she drives off into the night, leaving behind that word on the wall and the man who destroyed her life. For the next 11 days, she's on the run. She drives south all the way to Florida just to see the ocean. She later says she wanted to feel it one last time, before everything caught up with her. And it does. Police track her down at a friend's house, and when they arrest her, she doesn't resist. She looks calm, almost relieved. During questioning, she tells detectives everything. How Hal manipulated her, how she felt trapped, how she just wanted to escape. She admits to drugging him, tying him up, and killing him. At her trial, the courtroom is divided. Some people see her as a cold-blooded killer. Others see her as a victim, a young woman pushed past her limit by a man who took advantage of her for months. In the end, the court doesn't see it her way. Sarah Gonzales-McLinn is convicted of first-degree murder. She's sentenced to a minimum of 50 years in prison, though it's later reduced to 25 years. She's still behind bars today. And when asked why she did it, she told the police one thing that stuck with everyone who heard it: "I just wanted to be free."